What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, guys, I have a one-piece deck for you, and it's nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking. It is just going to be a Jinbe deck. So the cool thing about this deck is I found pretty much all of it in a 10-cent bulk box at the local card shop I go to that does one piece. That and a lot of these characters, I'm pretty sure I'm about to run into them on the show because I am right before the time skip. So a lot more of these characters I'm sure I'm going to get familiar with. But one of the characters that really stuck out to me right away was Jinbe. I thought he was a very cool character, way better than Usopp. I hate Usopp. But overall, I loved Jinbe. I just thought he was like a really fun, loyal character and just kind of a nice different tone for the show. But his ability is activate main. You can trash a card from your hand and then give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type leader or character cards. So this deck ended up actually being pretty fun without me even really trying to make it super fun. Sorry about my camera. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go into the list. We're gonna start with our 1K or our 1 cost characters real quick. Starting off with the incredible Searcher Arlong. Speaking of Arlong, that's probably going to be the next deck that I cover before it rotates, because I'm having a lot of fun with that deck as well. But anyway, so Arlong, voiced by Chris Rager, has the amazing ability of on play if your leader is the Fishman type, which Jinbe is. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal it to 1 card with a cost of 2 or more and add it to your hand. And then you just place the rest at the bottom. But it doesn't specify what it is as long as it is a 2 cost or more. Holy crap, Arlong just opens up plays. And I absolutely love that. And then next up we have 4 copies of Chew. His on play is just, it lets you draw a card. That's pretty much it. And then we have 3 copies of Hachan, pretty much. If you have 2 Dawn on them, on KO, you get to draw a card. But the cool thing about this deck is you're kind of swarming the field with these tiny bodies that have on-play abilities. And then from there, you're using Jinbe's effect, moving Dawn to them, and just really kind of keeping pressure on your opponent and sort of forcing them to deal with some of your smaller bodies. And then we do have some devastating big bodies in this deck as well. But to round out our 1 costs, we have 2 copies of Kaya. This is in here strictly for the on-play ability, draw 2 cards and trash your hand. But most importantly, number 1 thing, in my opinion, is the fact that it is a 2K counter, which is very nice. So that is our 1 cost characters. So yeah, that ended up being way more fun than I anticipated when I started playing it. And the only 2 cost characters we have are Koala. Again, she is a 2K counter, but activate main, you may trash this character up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type characters or leaders. Gains plus 2,000 power, so you can play her down, trash her, and then you can use Jinbe's ability to move a couple Dawn, since you do have some rested Dawn. So right there is a 4K play right out the gate right there, which is really nice. So that is a good little combo with her. And then as for a 3 costs, we have 4 copies of Watasumi. So this is mostly in here as a 2K counter, but it does have a nice little effect with it. This character cannot attack, but when a card is trashed from your hand by an effect, this character's effect is negated. So basically, to attack with this card, you have to use Jinbe, but he is a 3 cost 5K that you can turn into a 7K with your rested Dawn, so that's not awful. But most of the time, I will just use him as that nice 2K counter. All right, and we have some 4 costs to go over, starting off probably with the most important one, going to be Aladine here, or Aladine, yeah. So the on-play for this character is you just get to play up to 1 Fishman or Merfolk type character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. So this is going to allow you to cheap out your Chew, you can cheap out Arlong, Watasumi, and you can also bring out Hachan. Which is really cool. So you can play him down, potentially get a search with Arlong, you can get additional card, or just whatever. I love playing him down and then just throwing down one of these cheap 1 cost characters that get me an effect for on play. But then his KO effect is you just get to draw a card, so that's pretty good. So you swing with him, he dies, you get to draw a card. You can't go wrong with that. All right, next up we have 4 copies of Trafalgar Law. And on play, you may return one of your characters to the owner's hand. And if your leader has these 7 warlords of the C type, which he does, you can return one character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand. So this is just a good way to bounce something off of the field, maybe a blocker, or just maybe something with you just want to get rid of. You know, you just want to get it off the field. But again, something I like doing is returning one of these cards here, Chew or Arlong, bring them up, play them back down potentially, and then getting that nice on-play effect. And then we have 4 copies of Charlotte Pudding for some hand disruption on play. You just get to make your opponent reshuffle and draw 5. All right, next up, for the rest of the characters, here's where our characters get a little bigger. We're going to start off with Fisher Tiger. So this is actually a really neat card. I like him. On play, you get to draw 3 cards if you have the Fishman or... if you just have Fishman leader. And then at the end of your turn, trash cards from your hand until you have 5 cards in your hand. So this is a very good way to kind of fuel up your Jinbe ability. Draw an additional 3 cards so you have some more targets to discard from your hand. And then you can just start distributing that Dawn out since you do have 6, which is really nice. And yeah, it is kind of crappy that you have to play down to 5. But I mean, you can just hold on to your counters or whatever you need to. And then next up, 4 copies of Jozu. This is just in here kind of for Trafalgar Laws. Same purpose. He basically has the exact same ability, except it is 6 instead of the 4. So that's why we have Jozu, just to bounce something off of the field. And then we're going to round it out characters with the 8 cost 10k Jinbe. So when a card is trashed from your hand by an effect, this character gains Rush during this turn. And then on play, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, draw 2 cards, and return up to 1 character with a cost of 7 or less to your owner's hand. So that's really good there. So basically on your 10 Dawn turn, you can play him out, rest 2, draw 2, and then bounce a character, which is pretty nice. I really like that about this deck. Because a lot of characters can just kind of make stuff go bye-bye. And then as for the events and counters and all that stuff, this is in here at a 1 because I, for the freaking life of me, cannot remember what I wanted to put in here. But it is 1 copy of Don't Worry, I'm Here. Basically, all your Fishman or Merfolk type leader and characters get +1k, and the triggers draw 2. I can't remember what I was going to put in this deck. So I just kind of left that in here. But then we have 3 copies of Gum Gum Red Rock, 2 copies of Perfume Femur, and then 1 copy of Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, which I've actually been thinking I might bump that up to 2. I don't know yet. But that is going to be our counter line up there is just the 3 Red Rock, 2 Perfume Femur, and then the 1 Gravity Blade. And then we have this, which can be whatever you want. I don't really care. Yes, it does suck that I do not own the promo Arlong. That would be very good in this deck. I would probably swap out the Hachon for those, just because it's such a good card. But overall, this deck was really fun. Very, very cheap to put together for me anyway. Like I said, I found a majority of the deck in bulk boxes. I think the only thing I had to buy was these, and then I already owned those. I already had these, had all these events, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm not great. So yeah, everything right here I found in that bulk box for 10 cents. So I got basically everything I needed. And I noticed that as I was going through the bulk box that I was like, man, this entire deck is in here. So I'm just going to pick it up and then try it out. And I ended up really liking it. Jinbe is a very fun leader and a very fun deck. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It was very hard to put this deck together because I had to take apart old Doflamingo. But yeah, we got a One Piece video up. I have been dabbling a little more in One Piece lately. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know. I'm still fairly newish to the game, kind of understanding it a little bit. So, there might be some stuff that maybe I missed, maybe I didn't mention, but You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.